Amables amigos, welcome back to another episode of the Club Lucha podcast. I'm your host, Foos, once again going solo dolo for this episode. But I will say the very next week's episode, we will be bringing back both Floke and Soups. They'll be coming back for the Anniversario review episode. I have a pretty exciting episode today for you guys. 4 major topics to cover. 5. The first one, actually, it explains why this episode has both a video format and an audio format. The answer actually is very simple. You see, the shirt that I'm wearing right now is part of the Club Lucha merch drop, the merch shop that just launched today. And I thought, well, what better way to advertise these t-shirts that you can purchase if you would like to support the channel, the podcast, anything Club Lucha that you would like to support. You can do that by purchasing one of these shirts. And just some, I guess, a little bit of quick details. No AI in these. These are, designs that I made, and, it took me a while to make them. Try to make them fun, try to make them silly, try to make them, just something that is representative of the podcast, of Club Lucha. We like to have a good time, right? We're not super serious all the time. And what better way than to get a shirt that says, I learned Mexican Kung Fu at the Club Lucha Dojo. Really excited to launch these, and I'm really excited for future drops as well. This isn't just a one and done. The collections that I've put out are not going to be the only ones, I guess, to be on the Club Lucha shop. There's going to be more and more, and it's going to evolve over time. Right now, we have shirts. We have a couple of tote bags for those of you who like to carry things and, have a lot of things that you carry day to day. Take it to the grocery store. Take your recycling out. Carry your books to school. Whatever it is, bags, tote bags, all of that is in vogue right now, I guess. So it's pretty good. As you can also see, I've talked before about how I hold this mic, and this is how I hold it this entire time. So you guys can actually visualize that exactly as I said. I hold the mic up to my mouth this entire podcast while I talk. So the longer I go, the more tired my hand gets. Eventually, I'm pretty sure I'll do it. I'll switch hands, and you probably will also be able to hear it if you're not on the video podcast. Anyways, if you bought a shirt already, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. It means so much to me that you show support to, the Club Lucha platform in this way, the Club Lucha podcast, the YouTube channel, all the videos, all that stuff. I really do appreciate it, and it means a lot to me. It really does. And seeing people be very positive about this and, saying nice things, it really does mean the entire world to me. And again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But yeah, that is that's the reason for this video style podcast. As you can see around me, the green screen is doing pretty well, I would think. It's not doing horrible. Every now and then you'll see some effects, like down here in this corner, you'll see the darkness slowly enveloping me, but I'm still here, and I'm going to keep being here. I guess it's not going to stop me. A little bit of technical noise or whatnot. It's not the end of the world. Anyways, you're not here to hear all of that. You're here to listen, I guess, to the happenings of, as you can see, the more wide I open my mouth, the weaker the Velcro gets on this mask, this Rey Mysterio mask, which is a bit funny. It's a good mask, though. Anyways, you're here to listen to the other more pertinent, important topics. And this week I would say 4 big things to talk about, and, smaller things throughout as well that I'd like to chat about and talk about. Of course, the biggest one for listeners of this podcast is this Friday, we have the CMLL 92nd Anniversario show. been building to this for a long time, and it has been something that, it's been something that I've been looking forward to. And, at first, some people, the build was kind of weak, some people said, but as we get closer and closer, I do think that it is, really exciting. I'm excited for it. And I think overall it has the potential to be a really, really good show. I just went ahead and undid the Velcro. I might as well just put it back. Honestly, I might just do it undone because I like to be able to move my mouth all the way. Yeah, we're just going to do it like that. The mask is going to keep riding up. But, whatever. Could be worse. Anyways, not only do we have Anniversario talk today, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Worlds Collide 2 or 3, I guess, depending on how you want to number it, that AAA had this past week before the Canelo Alvarez fight. And then we also will be talking about Action Dean, which had some really good Lucha Libre action in it as well, and that I watched here recently and I very much enjoyed. So that's a quick preview of that. I did really like it. And then last, a really big piece of news that came out, when was it? A few days ago. It was not that long ago, that Andrade, El Ídolo, has left the WWE. And, jam-packed episode, full of stuff to talk about. Just had to get one out before the Anniversario. And then as like I said earlier, next week, the full crew is back on the podcast to talk about the Anniversario, the review, and, just their thoughts in general. So I hope you enjoy this episode, and I hope you enjoy next week's episode as well. And I guess let's kick things off. We'll do first things first. Let's talk about El Anniversario, right? 92nd Anniversario for CMLL. This bad boy is going to start off with a match for the CMLL Women's World Tag Team Championships. The current champions are Lluvia and La Jarochita, and they will be facing off against Persephone and Reina Isis. Okay, my expectations for this match probably will not be the match of the night. Could be really good. Could just be middle of the road as well. I have a lot of faith. I think the best workers in this match, I think the people who may be the most motivated for this match are La Jarochita and Perse. And I say that because La Jarochita, her last, I guess, big one-on-one was against Thunder Rosa, and that was at I believe it was the Tuesday show before the AEW Grand Slam at Arena Mexico. I thought that match was really good. I thought that match was really, really good. And, I wasn't watching AEW when I guess Thunder Rosa was champ. But her match with Jarochita, I was really impressed by. I thought it was really, really good. I thought that both of them looked awesome. Jarochita, since coming back, she has been, I guess, she kind of eased her way back in. The first few matches that she had, I was a little, she's got it in her. She hasn't shown it yet. I think that Thunder Rosa match was a really, really strong step, I guess, towards reaching the top again. Perse, of course, Perse has a lot of momentum. She's been featured on AEW. She will most likely face Mercedes Moné in October. I believe Mercedes Moné made an allusion to this in her Moné Mag. Monet Mag, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's her magazine that she puts out every now and then. There was some mention of it I saw aggregated that she would be in for one of the women's shows in October, and I believe that was on the 17th. Don't quote me on that. That's not a report. That's just what I saw through there. So that will be something definitely to keep an eye on. As for this match, I am not truly convinced there's going to be a switch in the titles here. I don't think there will be new champs. I think Perse and Reina Isis are good, but I don't see those belts leaving Lluvia and La Jarochita quite so soon. Again, though, that I'm not fully convinced either way, really, but I'm leaning towards Lluvia and Jarochita are going to retain and keep those belts. We also have, for the Copa Independencia final, which, by the way, I will say this tournament, this single elimination tag team tournament, the CMLL has had qualifiers for, 2 weeks in a row, and now we're getting to the final, has been really good. And I don't usually say that about single elimination, single night tournaments like CML has had in the past, especially this year and last year, because those were singles matches. Though I guess maybe the tag helped a lot. Was able to get a lot more action in a shorter amount of time. But those singles matches, when they do those singles matches in single elimination tournaments, like one-night tournaments, do not hit for me. The matches are just way too quick, and they don't ever really heat up past really anything. It'll be like basically one guy goes out and hits all his moves that he can, and then he ends up losing in the next round, kind of the same thing. And, I mean, sometimes the last match of the night in those tournaments end up being a little better than most, but for this tournament, I will say I was very, very impressed. I thoroughly enjoyed basically every match in this tournament. I thought over-delivered. Others have shared that same sentiment, I think, as well. I think a lot of people would agree that this single elimination tournament was one of the better ones that they've held recently. The finalists for this match are going to be Difunto and Barbosa, El Galeón Fantasma, and Templario and Titan, who are now tagging together. They had some issues back around June, earlier in the summertime, when, they were having their faction sort of warfare with United Empire and the faction formerly known as Los Ingobernables de Japón. Unfortunately, Los Ingobernables de Japón kind of ended, and we had to, move on from that. Now Templario and Titan are teaming together, they're really good together. And this past Friday, they had their match against, I believe it was Futuro and Max Star, was good, but their really good match was Blue Panther and Atlantis. And then Blue Panther and Atlantis also had a good match against Los Infernales as well. So that was really enjoyable. And this was, it was the match to make. If you looked at all the participants in this tournament, this, I believe, was the match to make. Templario and Titan against Difunto and Barbosa. I think this definitely is like the best possible matchup they had in that tournament. And this one should be really good. Just based on who's in it. We've seen all of these guys step up in opportunities when they've been given one or when they've earned an opportunity. I think I mentioned maybe in previous podcasts how happy I was that Difunto and Barbosa, like all of it, Galeón Fantasma, were getting like these big opportunities to shine and really show their stuff. And they've done a great job every time they've gotten that opportunity. And now we're getting to, this big tournament final on the Anniversario show. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I think this one's going to be really good. One of the more recently revealed matches that we got was a trios match. And I will say, I thought they were going to wait until Informa. The first person I think I saw catching on to this, that there was one or two more matches left, I think it was Cubs fan. So Lucha blog. And then I think Rob Viper made a mention of it as well. But yeah, I really think that they definitely could not have left these guys off the card, especially for how good of a year all 6 of these guys really have been having. 5 or 6, maybe not everybody has been on that top level all year, but Máscara Dorada, Atlantis Jr., and Neon against Hechicero, Volador Jr., and Sandokan Jr. This is like a Friday main event level type of matchup for sure. And it showcases a few of the younger guys, I guess minus Hechicero and Volador Jr., Sandokan Jr., Máscara Dorada, Atlantis Jr., Neon. These are the younger guys who are top level, I guess. It's fair to say these are the guys who will be on main events and especially those trios matches, main events, and who have had good solid matches all year. So there's no reason for me to think this is going to be bad. Sandokan Jr., if you're not aware though, there's one big worry, and it came from last Friday. The main event was Sandokan Jr. and Difunto against Brody King and Brodito for the AEW Tag Championships. And during that match, Sandokan Jr. Picked up a knee injury, I think, off of like a really just like standard move that you would not, think you'd pick up an injury like that. It was like a double hip toss to, I don't remember if it was Brody King or Bandido, but like it was a move that it wasn't like super high risk. It wasn't like, it didn't seem to be super dangerous. Maybe just one of those freak injuries, but he was able to finish the match. And from what I saw, I believe that Lucha Blog reported it, that he was able to work the MLW match that he had the next day. And, he's going to work this one. He's going to work this Anniversario match, and we will see how that goes. It's an injury. Again, not sure how long he may be out, not sure how severe it is, but he's able to work this. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome that he's able to get to do this. And I'm sure, this being the biggest show of the year, Sandokan Jr. is definitely trying to power through that injury, however severe it may be. Like I said again, hopefully not too bad. Hopefully he's not out that long, and we can get back on the tracks with the Sandokan Jr. train. Let's see. Moving on, a match I am super duper excited for. The CMLL World Tag Team Championships. Ángel de Oro and Niebla Roja, Los Hermanos Chavez. They have been the champs forever now. Record-breaking reign and really good. Really good. If you have not seen their matches, if you haven't seen any of Los Hermanos Chavez title defenses, go out, watch some. If you have to get prepared for this, it is going to be really good because they're going up against probably my favorite tag team. Just pure tag team in CMLL, Los Villanos. El Hijo del Villano Tercero Jr., or El Hijo del Villano Tercero and Villano Tercero Jr. I combined both their names there. But these guys are so awesome. Villano Tercero Jr. got injured, I think it was maybe towards the end of last year. He was out most of the year. He came back, and they start throwing him and El Hijo del Villano Tercero in tag matches and, just a variety of matches, and he's looked awesome. This past Tuesday, actually yesterday, I'm recording this on a Wednesday, by the way, not watching AW. I'm not going to be able to see Máscara Dorada and the Beast Mortos. They have a match tonight, and the winner gets a spot on All Out, I think, and I'm pretty sure it's all but certain that Máscara Dorada is winning that, just because there was some, I believe, he was pulled from a show in Saltillo that was pretty heavily publicized, and they replaced him with the Beast Mortos and Neon, I think, and a luchador sorpresa, who some people are speculating may be hologram. I'm not sure. I can't speculate too irresponsibly, but we may not be able to see it. It'll probably go up on, someone will probably record it and put it on YouTube at some point, so you'll be able to watch it. But the point I'm making is he will probably make it into that tag team All Out ladder. No. The Máscara Dorada match is for the, if he gets in for a chance against Konosuke Takeshita and Okada, I believe. And then Hechicero has an opportunity to get in that tag team tornado ladder match with Brodito and some other tag teams. So that was spoiled. Anyways, Los Villanos are so, they're the epitome of just awesome, I guess. If there's not another way to say that. They are I don't know, just so many of their mannerisms, so many of their ideas that don't always hit flesh. And I think that's something that I also really appreciate about them. A lot of their stuff is not the smoothest. It's not, mechanical. A lot of it feels very very in the moment, very raw. Sometimes just very playing off the crowd. And that is kind of almost a rarity sometimes in, high level pro wrestling now, because a lot of the wow factor for people is oh, look how smooth this is, and look how, how amazing this is. And sometimes it being a little rough around the edges, it being a little unpolished, like that makes it even better because it stands out a little more. I'm not saying everybody should, be rough and unpolished. And some people will call it sloppy. I don't know that that's a great way to describe them, but definitely this is one of my most anticipated matches of the night, and I'm really, really, I'm all in on Los Villanos winning. And Manos Chavez had a spectacular run at the top as tag champs. They had so many great defenses, but I think the era of Los Villanos is here, and I think that they are going to be the new tag champs after Friday. And if I'm wrong, well, it won't be the first time I'm wrong. Obviously, I'm wrong all the time. I'm wrong about a lot of things, and we're going to talk about some of those things that I was wrong here in this next segment. But we're not done with an Anniversario yet. Next up, I'm doing these all out of order. For me, I'm just doing them kind of like in levels of hype, but I'll leave the main event and the semi-main where they are. These other ones I believe are going to be in a different order. Cabellera contra Cabellera, Rey Bucanero against El Felino. El Felino is one of my favorite luchadores to watch from like the 90s to like the 2010s. And I still really do appreciate El Felino. I do think El Felino is really good still. I think he's really solid still. But, he is a lot older. He has slowed down a lot. And the same with Rey Bucanero. They've both slowed down a lot. So this is like definitely, it won't be high level, high speed. I think where this match has a chance to shine the most is like maybe like crowd work. Felino really has to turn up, the evilness, I guess. And, Rey Bucanero really has to draw a lot of empathy. I'm sure they're going to throw a lot of things just at the wall in this. I'm sure they're going to go and just give it all they've got. But in terms of like, where basically everybody else in the card, these guys are older and they have slowed down a lot more. So my recommendation here, my expectations are not the highest. I don't think this is going to be the match of the night. I think maybe this could over-deliver, but I don't think it'll be the best match of the entire night. Could I be wrong? Of course. But, I'm just letting you know what I'm thinking. Quick preview there. We have another apuestas, a bit untraditional. We have MJF putting up the CMLL World Light Heavyweight Championship against Místico's Mask. Other people have made this observation 100 times over. Místico's Mask is definitely worth a lot more than a CMLL World Light Heavyweight Championship. Not to say the CMLL Light Heavyweight World Championship is worth nothing. Not to say, all of that. But there was a lot of criticism at first with MJF putting up the belt instead of his hair. That's all up to him. That's all up to them. I don't know the reasoning behind it. I have seen a lot of people being like, oh, that's kind of lame. But also, I have seen some people justifying it being like, well, in America, in the U.S., the belts are worth more, and they don't really have the apuestas culture of mask versus something. And sure, okay. Now, in storyline, it makes sense. I'm not going to pick it apart too bad, especially because there are other apuestas matches on this card. If this was the only apuestas on the Anniversario, then I think that the backlash would be a little more severe and a little more justified. But because there are other apuestas on this, I think that in this case, the volume kind of goes over the matches themselves. I mean, I do think this match is going to be pretty good, though. Regardless of what's at stake, I think that MJF and Místico have been building this for quite a minute. People are invested. I don't think that there is a chance that Místico will lose here. Obviously, you're not going to drop your mask, the mask of your ace, of your biggest guy in the company here, with against a belt. But if you just, buy into it a little, you kind of have to suspend your disbelief, I feel like, on this one. And I am, unfortunately, almost certain that there's going to be some shenanigans, some mischief at the end of this match that will definitely maybe cause some controversy or cause maybe it's going to look like MJF has won and then, actually the commission says, actually the ref says this match is not over, Místico hits La Mística, oh, MJF. That's going to be very cathartic, I will say. MJF tapping out to La Mística will be incredibly, yeah, I'm going to be, in my chair, yeah, going crazy. Excited for that. So should be a good time. Our main event is interesting. This is a tag team kind of three-way match. The teams are Último Guerrero and Averno, that's team 1. Esfinge and Valiente, team 2. Bárbaro Cavernario and Dragón Rojo Jr. as team 3. So, whoever wins, I'm assuming it is whoever gets the first pinfall or whoever gets the first submission. I'm not sure if it's elimination. Whoever wins, whoever gets through, they have the opportunity to challenge, hair versus mask, hair versus hair, either one of those. There's only one mask at stake here, and that's Esfinge's mask, or Valiente's mask, sorry. Esfinge and Valiente are masks, everyone else is hair. I am not certain who will go through. And I say that because last year, a lot of people were certain it was going to be Esfinge and Valiente back then. And then they delayed it until Homenaje a dos Leyendas this year. So then people were like, okay, well, this time it's going to be Esfinge and Valiente. But it kind of feels like that rivalry, that pairing never really kicks up into the next gear. So that's kind of why I have a lot of trouble again saying that's going to be the one that ends up being the final for this, because the build on this match, I mean, they've shown a lot of animosity and things like that, but I'm just not so certain that Esfinge and Valiente are going to be the last guys. But then again, I'm not so certain that Dragón Rojo Jr. and Bárbaro Cavernario are going to be the last two guys. I love Bárbaro Cavernario. That's one of my favorite guys in CMLL. I just don't see it. Dragón Rojo Jr. lost his mask on this show 2 years ago in 2023 to Templario. That match was pretty good, but I think it was not as good as Volador Jr. and Ángel de Oro for hair versus hair from that same night. That match was incredible. That was one of my favorite matches of the entire year for 2023. And that was one of the matches that really solidified. I thought that Volador Jr. was like the best wrestler in the world in 2023. I've said that before. Some people may not agree. That's okay. But for me, like watching all his matches in 2023 against, Rocky Romero, that Anniversario match, all of the Rocky Romero matches were awesome. He had a really good match against Soberano Jr. as well in 2023, late 2023, when Soberano Jr. Switched to being Rudo full time. Well, Jr. had a great 2023. That was awesome. Anyways, the last two, the one that I hope it is, but the one again that it just doesn't seem like they're going to go with that again is Último Guerrero and Averno. They have had issues for a hot minute as well. And they've never really reached the finals. They never really got the opportunity to get to the Apuestas. If that one is the Apuestas, that's monumental. Like, that's incredible. That's the best. Of all the pairings, that's the best possible match you can make there. But I'm not certain that it's going to be the one they're going with. Again, it's going to be a happy little surprise to see what they end up doing in that main event and who ends up leaving as the big winner of El Anniversario this year. Regardless, I'm excited to watch it. And for everyone, actually, this is some pretty big news. This is some pretty big news for people who have been thinking about getting to CMLL. They can't commit the $35 to watch, the Anniversario for the membership. Triller just launched. I mean, they just announced it like maybe 2 days ago that they will be, or maybe it was today, maybe it was the day before. It was very recent. I'm getting my days all mixed up. I'm sorry. As you can tell, my time is all discombobulated because I've spent a lot of the past week working on this merch shop, which you can buy right now on the Club Lucha merch store. It is Club Lucha Shop, Club Lucha Shop, club-lucha-shop.fourthwall.com, I believe. You can find a link to it in Linktree and also in the description of this video. I'm going to put it in there for everyone interested in buying some merch. And also, I think by now I should have like a little shelf. I connected the shop with YouTube, so maybe you can just directly look through everything and see what you like. Anyway, Triller is offering this show on Friday, $20 to watch El Anniversario with English commentary for people who are always saying, I wish I could get into CMLL, but they don't have English commentary. I need English. Well, here's your opportunity, right? No idea who the commentators are going to be. Cubs fan, Lucha blog, he's been trying to find out. Not really any leads on it. As far as I can tell, no one publicized who's going to be commentating for this event, but it will have English commentary for people who need that English commentary. I will say, though, other people have pointed this out as well. Rob pointed this out, and really just, you can kind of look at it and tell. The $35 1 month, right? If you only do 1 month, $35, you get the Anniversario. You're going to get Noche de Campeones next week. You're going to get all the Saturday Coliseo shows for the month. You're going to get all the Tuesday shows for the month and the rest of the Friday shows for the month, for 1 full month, right? Honestly, if you do it now, you could probably get, I don't know if it's going to be a special show, so I don't know if you'll have to, but obviously if you're not subscribed at all, you would probably get up to, at least halfway through October. If you subscribed like the 18th or the 19th, I mean, you get a full month. So you get an entire month. You might be able to watch that Mercedes Moné Persephone match if it's early enough in the month. I believe it's the 17th. So you should be able to get it if you subscribe today or tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. Check my math on that. Regardless, if you want to watch the show, the two methods, $35 on the YouTube, you get only Spanish. $20 on Triller, you get an English commentary. I don't think you get the Spanish on Triller, though. So if you're speaking Spanish, si hablas español, solamente en YouTube. And I will say, I think the Spanish commentary team is very good. I think they're very funny. Some people don't like them as much, but I think they're pretty comical guys. I think they do some really good bits in between matches and stuff, and they say some funny stuff a lot. I enjoy them. Anyways, the show is sold out. So if you were thinking about, going on Friday, if you're listening and you're like, well, I can just go get a ticket on Friday, you cannot. The show has been sold out, I think, since last week. So it will be packed. Maybe there's going to be scalpers outside. I can't, you'll be paying an arm and a leg, but, sold out show. Anyways, super excited for that. El Anniversario. Really, really excited. And next week, we'll do a review. Soups, Floke, me, the whole crew back together to do a review of the Anniversario show. Second item on the agenda, let's talk about AAA/WWE Worlds Collide 2 or 3, depending on how you want to label that. If you want to say it's 2, that makes sense, because I guess the first WWE one was back in June. If you want to say it's 3, and you're counting the very first one, I don't know if you can do that. I'm not sure if that's allowed, but I guess you could say it. Anyways, let's briefly talk about this show. Let me just, I guess, talk about the biggest winners, the people who I thought maybe won. Not I guess maybe didn't have the most important matches, but I think they had maybe the best showings / the best, they're going to have a lot more momentum coming out of this show. Number one, I will say the opening match, the 8-person tag team match that they called the Lucha Showcase. I'm not sure why they called it the Lucha Showcase. The whole show is like Lucha Libre, but this match was the best match on the entire card for me. I think that this match is closest to the style and the speed that I like to watch in Lucha Libre and professional wrestling. I thought that they had a really, really quick pace. Whoever agented this match, whoever was the agent for this match, whoever produced this match, really, I mean, great job. You probably won't ever hear this. You probably don't even care that I'm saying good job, but it was really, really good. It was La Parca, Mascarita Sagrada, Laredo Kid, and Octagon Jr. against Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wild, Lince Dorado, and Mini Abismo Negro. And this match was just awesome. The biggest winner from this match, too. I think this match was great, but I think the biggest winner here was very obviously Mascarita Sagrada. A lot of people made the connection that, which is kind of funny because, this is just something that, this connection kind of was made like back at the first Worlds Collide when they showed the first time they showed Mascarita Sagrada in the crowd. Because if you went to Instagram back then, you could just see that it is the Mascarita Sagrada that was also Mascarita Dorada, who was also El Torito in the WWE. And a lot of people were like, whoa, that's El Torito. Yes. This Mascarita Sagrada, I believe he took on the character in like, it was in the 2000s. He's not the first one. I don't think he's the second one either. I did a video on this where it's more in depth, but this is just off the hip right now. I'd have to go back and check my notes and stuff, but I won't get into the lineage of the name or anything, but this is like the best one. In my opinion, this is the best Mascarita Sagrada. So it is actually really cool that he was presented like this. I mean, and the guy who he was working with, the mini Abismo Negro, very quickly people found out that's Demos. And Demos, not that long ago, was working, he worked the ROH Action Dean 3 show in Caballera versus Caballera against Mad Dog Connolly, which I'm going to talk about later. And then he immediately goes and works this WWE show, this WWE AAA show in Vegas, like really like God almighty. Very, very soon after. That's awesome. I mean, good for him. He get it how you can. And Demos is awesome. Demos is a really good, like, not only is he a really good, like, bass, not only is he, like, Mascarita Sagrada's, like, perfect pairing for now, I guess, like, the best guy that he could be in that ring with right now, but, like, he's just awesome in general. Demos is just, like, really, like, great brawler. I mean, fantastic guy to watch. But they did that signature spot where, Mascarita Sagrada and Demos is just like, kind of has him, going around and around the world, and then out of the ring, go to the top rope, jump off into the head scissors. But I don't remember if they actually did the head scissors part at Worlds Collide, but they did the first part, and of course I got a huge pop because it's awesome. It's really cool. It's really impressive. A lot of people do that. They go around the world like 100 times, but for me, it's always really good because that's really difficult. I mean, if everybody could do it, everybody would do it, but everybody can't. So the guys who can are just a little more impressive. Anyways, they picked up the victory there. I believe it was La Parca, Mascarita Sagrada, Laredo Kid, and Octagon Jr. The biggest winner of that match, absolutely, far and away, Mascarita Sagrada. That match got a lot of time too, actually. Now I'm looking at it and remembering it. It was like 18 minutes. That's really good. My favorite match of the night was that one. Everything after that, I was a little more tempered on, a little more down on, I guess, if that's the correct. I don't want to say they were horrible, but I could tell most of the matches afterwards, not really for me as much as that first match was. And Natalia and Fabio Pache, it was good. I think it was better than the Triple Mania like three-way match they had, but they definitely have a better match. I think that there's definitely a better match in there between the two. It just kind of felt like Natalia was doing like everything. Like she was just hitting so much stuff, and Fabio Pacha barely got like any offense in. It felt like at times. So I don't know. I felt like whoever structured that match, I feel like maybe you should have given Fabio a little more there to get her over. Or there was a lot of submissions, which was cool, but it could have been a little more, I think. Pagano and Psycho Clown against Grayson Waller and Kofi Kingston. Xavier Woods was pulled from this match, I believe, and Grace, I think there's like a storyline where Grayson Waller is trying to get into the New Day or something. I don't really have a lot to say about this one. Not for me. Lola Vice and Mr. Iguana against Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez. Mr. Iguana has been such a huge winner of this purchase from WWE of AAA. They had like a little comedy puppet spot. I can't hate on that. I like puppets a lot, actually. I was very entertained when Harley Cameron, I believe in AEW, had her little puppet That was nice. I can't hate. I know some people expect me. Maybe it's expected. I'm gonna be like, this isn't lucha libre. No, what are they doing? I mean, it was. There's space for this. Lucha libre is very big, and it was entertaining, and that's what it has to be. Pretty good. I think though the match was more of they were playing a lot of like Lola Vice and whoever the NXT champion for women is, the NXT women's champion is. I don't really know super much about their champions. I think her name was like started with a J. But I think that was the more important thing. There was a fun little spot where La Yesca kind of did Mr. Iguana threw La Yesca out, kind of like a tope onto the little demon puppet that Finn Balor has. That was fun. That was a nice little highlight. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Dragon Lee, Ethan Page, and JD McDonough 4-way match for the AAA Latin American title. This one, I think, maybe could have been better just in the singles match with Wagner and really any of the other guys. I think most excited though, I would have loved to see like El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. against Dragon Lee. I think that's the best in-ring match, and I think that's the highest pace match that could be had there. I'm not really a fan of Ethan Page. I'm not really a fan of JD McDonough. Not really for me. That's, when something's not for me, I'm just going to tell you, not for me. Not really for me. The match was good. I think it could have been better. Just singles, just run, Dragon Lee, Hijo de Wagner Jr. I kind of understand why they can't, but, I think it just could have been a little better there. Good performance, though, by Wagner. Good performance, good individual performance and stuff. Just the match itself didn't really capture me that much, but it was good. I can acknowledge that. The last match, though. Okay. My thoughts on this match are a little complicated in that I didn't think the match itself was really... I thought the match itself was a little, And I'd like to explain, I guess, why I think that. I like Dominic Mysterio. I think Dominic Mysterio is developing very well into a very, very good professional wrestler. Especially over the last 2 years since turning heel, since becoming, I guess, the Dirty Dom. Yes. Let me how can I eloquently say my issues with this match? The first one is I don't the dynamic of this match was kind of all over the place. And I say that in a way because Dirty Dom is obviously the heel, right? He's doing like Rudo type stuff, he's doing like bad guy type things, right? So he's the heel. He's getting cheered though, obviously, because, smart fans, I guess. It's fun to cheer like the guys who are like, it's fun to cheer like the cool heels, I guess, the cool Rudos. Fine, not a problem, okay? That's not the issue. El Hijo del Vikingo, for lack of a better word, he is kind of cooked in a way in terms of like fan reactions that he's been getting lately. And it kind of just killed the dynamic of this match because they kind of tried to play it like Vikingo a little bit, like Rudo, like, but then also like, why did Dragon Lee come and help him if now Vikingo's kind of like Rudo, like he's kind of more like antagonistic towards the crowd? And it was like, I don't know. It just kind of felt like some mixed messaging there in this match. And it just, I don't know. Vikingo in WWE, I think a lot of people were very high on him, especially after that. I believe the first Worlds Collide. He had a match against Chad Gable, which I thought was good, but I didn't think it was like some people were saying match of the year. I couldn't agree with that. Not for me. I think there's a lot better than that one, but I think that now, he's getting booed like crazy in Mexico. At this show, he was getting booed like crazy again, and some people were like, "Oh, well, it's because it was Mexican fans who were there for Canelo, like they came to this show." And I will say, if that is the case, then he might be good. But if it's just the cool thing to do, like if it's just the thing to do to boo Vikingo now, then I don't know. I really don't know what the play is for him, because Vikingo is like very much a wow wrestler. Like he does things that like he kind of gets over by making you say wow, like these amazing things, the 630 through the tables, the incredible things. But in this WWE style, that's like, I feel like sometimes a half step, a whole step slower. They work a slower pace. They work more towards the drama of it, and to me, I think that's to the detriment of the entire thing sometimes. I'm not going to sit here and bash the entire style this whole time, I promise. But that's one of the things that I have one of the biggest problems with, is that sometimes it just feels like, God almighty, like you're working the hard cam forever, man. Let's keep going, like I feel like the storytelling is very ham-fisted sometimes. In the, like, they'll look at the hard cam, make a face, oh, and then, oh, what? He kicked out? Like, get up and punch that guy back down and do something else and make sure he can't kick out next time. Like, I don't know, that style of like, shocked face, I just did my big move. How could they possibly escape that? Like, it's good in, now and then, but I feel like it's used so much. Every match has that in WWE, and it's like, come on, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it pushing. Not to say that there's a lot of companies who do that now, and there's a lot of wrestlers who do that now. So I actually am really happy when people don't, and they just kind of like, play it like a more like competitive match where, you're trying to put this guy away and you're not playing to the camera, playing to the crowd for, shocked. I like when people use the crowd. And that's not to say I don't like crowd work. I love when people use the crowd. I love when people like, hooray, hurrah, power me up, get me through this. I'm doing this for you kind of stuff. Or, when the Rudos are getting boos and stuff like that. But this style is just a little different. I don't know if you guys would agree, but that's just my thinking on it. Anyways, a lot of run-ins in this match as well. That's AAA. They've kept that essence. Good for them. Good for WWE. But in this one, I just kind of felt like, Dragon Lee. And then I think they had the Judgment Day, I think, came out first, and Dragon Lee came out to save him. And then the Grande Americano came out to help Dom again, and he won, and everybody was happy that Dom won. And I will say that's the correct decision. The correct decision was to put it on Dom, because Vikingo is just not getting reactions, the reactions that they were looking for, and I don't know. We'll see what they do with him. I don't want to say like, oh, he's finished. That'd be hyperbolic, but I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with him next, and who knows? Hopefully he can find, like, he's going to have to, like, revamp or something. Like, something's going to have to change for sure. But we will see. Overall, best match, like I said, biggest winners. Dom, obviously. Mr. Iguana, obviously, he continues being very featured and praised by fans, and from what I've read, people backstage too are very happy with Mr. Iguana. He's awesome. Good for him. Big winner from this event as well. Mascarita Sagrada, super big. I think Mascarita Sagrada, besides Dom, because he literally won the top belt for AAA, he's like one of the biggest winners of the night. Yeah. Dom, I have no idea how they're going to play his title reign. They might just do it exactly like the Alberto reign. Honestly, maybe they just switched out Alberto for Dom. This is just going off on a tangent here, but I mean, it's a formula that worked for Alberto. It surely will work for Dominic Mysterio, even though he's getting super cheers, well, kind of like Alberto was, actually. It may just work out for him. Run-ins, cheating, keep the title for a very long time, then finally build somebody up to challenge him. I have no idea. And again, to someone else's detriment, it may be that Dom may just be so popular and so over with the AAA crowd because he has a lot. I mean, they love him. They love Dom. That's how it is. That any técnicos, any baby faces that may go up against him, it might not matter how beloved they are. If they like Dom more, they may just boo those guys like they boo Vikingo, right? I don't know. I don't know what kind of reactions we'll get. Maybe Ray. I think they were teasing something with Ray. I think unless they're going to do the mask versus hair, I think they should stay away from the Ray stuff. I'm going to be completely honest. I think that they've run that a lot and it is good, but save it for that last hurrah kind of bit. It's a good rivalry run, son versus father versus son, disrespectful. And if they ever do the apuestas, which who knows? I mean, I love Rey Mysterio. I'm really wearing a Rey Mysterio mask right now. Let's that'll be a big moment. I don't know that I want to just see it for 9 months until another WrestleMania match between the two. If it's not for the big one, then at some point it's gonna start feeling come on, let's get to it already. Penta was there, and this is actually a little worrying. This is just gonna be a little tangent as well. Penta was at this Worlds Collide show, and he made his intentions clear that he's setting his sights on that Mega Campeonato. And this is a little concerning, and I will tell you why. Because I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to assume too many things, but the path that I feel like is being charted right now is Penta is being moved down the card. From what I have seen, moving down the card in terms of rivalries on that main roster, and now he's going for he wants to get that belt on for AAA. There was no indication of when, and he didn't come out after the show to face Dom, so no indication that he's the next challenger, but at some point he's going to want to challenge. Basically, he's going to win that belt. It almost puts a worry in me that might be the ceiling for a lot of luchadores to get the AAA Mega Campeonato, and then that's kind of almost where a lot of guys will peak. Maybe again, take all of this with a grain of salt. This is doom posting basically. So don't bash me. Don't be like, oh, you're just hating because you hate WWE. That's not true. I'm just kind of going off pattern recognition and being able to see where other luchadores have landed with WWE in the past and where this opportunity could kind of go with AAA and WWE, and how maybe this could kind of feel like a glass ceiling for some of these guys. Until I see I'm not saying that Penta should go out and win the World Championship in WWE tomorrow. I mean, it would probably be really awesome, and he'd be really over. I mean, he is really over right now, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying put every belt on all the luchadores, but there is a sense of worry that the ceiling might be, and I've seen others echo this same sentiment. I'm not just coming out of this, out of the blue. It's just something to keep an eye on. It's something to think about in the future, depending on how things go for a lot of these guys. Speaking of WWE, though, and futures with the WWE, someone who no longer has a present with the WWE is Andrade. As it was revealed, it was reported, I believe by Fightful. Someone reported, I believe it was Fightful. My apologies if I'm getting that wrong, that Andrade is out of the WWE. And this was I think I read it was a disciplinary issue, a wellness violation. That part does not really, I don't know. it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't really make me say like, oh, what? A wellness violation? Come on. Like look at some of the guys in the WWE right now talking about wellness violation. Look at how old some of these guys and the shape that they're in. You're going to tell me that it's a particularly Andrade issue, that it was a wellness violation. I'm not buying it. You can try and sell it to me, but I'm not buying that. I'm not gonna dog him for that or anything. And I will say there is some bias here as well. Andrade is like one of my favorite luchadores, and he hadn't really done much of anything in the WWE since he left or since he rejoined back in, I believe it was early 2024. He left AEW. He did that CMLL little stint in December of 2023, which was awesome, incredible, amazing. I highly praised it. It was fantastic. But Andrade's out, and some people are like, he's going back to AEW. He's going to CMLL. I'm not here to speculate. I'm not here to tell you where he's going. I have no idea. That's not something that I have any knowledge on. Again, I said it before in this podcast. I'm going to say it again. No scoops here. It's just opinions, some speculation, some, things like that. Normal, not a news source. You should not treat me as one ever. Unless I one day become one. I don't think I will. That seems very stressful. I like not doing that. I feel like there's a lot of responsibility there, and it's not something that I would be very good at. Breaking news and stuff. Could you imagine? Breaking Club Lucha reports. No. Anyways, I will say, as someone who's a big fan of Andrade, him appearing in CMLL again would be really cool. He fits the style like literally perfectly. He would work. I mean, he'd slot right into their main events, whether it be consistently or every now and then. If he goes back to AEW, I'm not sure that there's a clear and open spot. There's a lot of people in AEW, and there's a lot of luchadores specifically right now as well who are fighting for their spots, it feels like, and have worked really hard for their spots that Andrade taking one just would not... he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. I will say that. I think Andrade is one of the best in the entire world, but you kind of have to, you have to earn it, you have to work your way up. And that's kind of one of the things that makes me a little if he goes to CMLL, should he just slot right in that main event and take a spot from somebody? There's a lot of main event rudos who are young. There's a lot of younger main event rudos like your Sandokan. Will he be taking a spot from Sandokan? If that's the case, how ethical is that, right? How much would I rather see Andrade versus Sandokan? I can't pit two goats like that against each other. I like Andrade, but do I like him enough for him to be featured more than Sandokan? Do I like him enough to be featured more than Hechicero? Do I like him more than Ángel de Oro? More than the Último Guerrero? Even though Último Guerrero's older, so I guess he could kind of... Último Guerrero's not really featured that often in main event spots. In trios, yeah, sure, against, Sky Team, Los Guerreros Laguneros. But just Último Guerrero, he's not really in that much. He's got that MLW belt, but he's not really singles main eventing and in Mexico or anything. So, it's just something to keep an eye on. I will say I won't be upset if Andrade does end up working more CMLL dates. Again, like I said, I'm a fan. I like the style. I would like to see him there again. There's a lot of matchups that I would like to see, but if it means someone losing a spot, I don't know. It's a complicated issue. It's basically the gist of all of this. It's a complicated issue. There's a lot to think about, and there's a lot to consider, I guess. So we will see. Time will tell. Time will tell. A lot of people have been misunderstanding his replies to old MJF on Twitter. They've been having a back and forth. Cubs fan touched on it on his write-up today. I think I made a tweet about it yesterday, and some other people have pointed it out as well. Some people are thinking that Andrade's challenging him when he said in Mexico it's hair versus mask. Some people thought that Andrade was challenging him. Andrade doesn't have a mask to bet, so that was not a challenge. That was him making fun of MJF for not putting up his hair against Mystico's mask. So if anyone needed clarification on that, that's that. He wasn't challenging. MJF took it as a challenge for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it was the lack of a comma. Maybe it was just a misunderstanding. But a lot of people did. So I can't really, attack MJF or anything for that too much. A lot of people misunderstood. And I hope that it's more clarified now. Last, let's talk about Action Dean. Two big matches that I'd like to talk about. First off, the event overall was really good, actually. I really enjoyed it. Even the non-Lucha portions, which I mainly watched for the Lucha Libre. But of course, the Action Dean guys are really cool. They're really awesome. We follow each other on Twitter. They're always posting really awesome stuff all the time. They have very deep understanding and like a very deep appreciation for professional wrestling from all over the world. Lucha Libre. I mean, a lot of them know a lot more than I do. A lot of them are way more knowledgeable. And they were on those like message boards back in the day that like, it was a different era. It was, I think, before my time. Unfortunately for me, I was not on the wrestling messaging boards back in the day. The only message boards that I think I was ever on was this one for like The Legend of Zelda. And it was really funny because I did not make that many posts on it, but it was just like talking about the Legend of Zelda games back then and like theories and like what's next for the games and stuff like that. Which at the time, I mean, I was really young back then on there. I mean, come on, like I'm doing a Lucha Libre podcast. I'm like, I guess a little bit of a dork, a little bit of a geek, a little bit of a nerd. I don't know. That guy that was on the Zelda message boards, learning about the games and stuff. I really love those games. Those are like my favorite games of all time. So please have some mercy. Have some grace with me on that. I wasn't on the messaging boards though for wrestling or anything like that, but it does seem like those scenes were very active and like very knowledgeable, very intelligent about all of this and the history of professional wrestling and lucha libre. And it would have been nice to be on those. It would have been nice to learn more when I was younger about all of these like different types of styles and matches that I've never seen. I have huge blind spots now, right, for professional wrestling. I mainly watch lucha libre like older and from as many different years as I can I watch. But there's things like Japanese pro wrestling. I'm not a huge New Japan guy. I'm not a huge All Japan guy. I don't know that much about like Noah, like the history of Noah or any of these Japanese promotions that are big and like have these big storied histories and have these incredible matches that I recognize that they exist and I recognize how important they were to professional wrestling and how much appreciation other people have for them and how beloved they are. But it's just that me personally, I'm not the most learned. And I can say that. I can acknowledge that there's a lot of things I don't know. And there's a lot of things that I could learn more about. I focus on Lucha Libre because it's my favorite, I really, this is my stuff, I really, really, really love this and I really like watching it and I really love everything about it, the culture, the spectacle, the sport, it's very special to me and it's very cool, and that is Japanese pro wrestling for other people. That is, like American Southern pro wrestling, like territory pro wrestling, like, for everyone, that is, every different region, every time period, that's someone's favorite in pro wrestling, right? It can be a very specific promotion from a very specific area in a very specific year. That's someone's favorite. And, everybody's very different in what they like. So that is to say, the Dean show was really cool. And the match that I was really excited for was the trios match, the Maestros trios match. Hechicero, Dr. Cerebro, Shelhua against Blue Panther, Virus, and Pantera. The match was really good. This match was really good, really enjoyable. A lot of like, how do I say it? Like a lot of like, obviously like it was submissions only. So obviously we get a lot of llaveo, but a lot of really good sequences, a lot of really classic sequences from these guys, moving around at their, I don't want to call them old. They are much older than a lot of, professional wrestlers. And that's kind of one of the things that's very special, I think, about Lucha Libre in general, is how a lot of these guys are able to keep so fit and keep so like in ring shape by modifying their styles and working a more llaveo mat based kind of style, being able to do all that, but then still being able to pull out some really incredible like really smooth, I don't want to say high flying, but like very quick, still very sharp arm drags, very sharp like topes and things like that. I'm so sorry. My voice is starting to get very dry. I've been going for about an hour and 5 minutes here solo. My apologies for everyone watching for that big cough. But yeah, I think that the match was really, really good. They were in the 23, I believe the 2300 arena is what it's called. It's the old ECW arena. Intimate crowd. It's not a super huge arena, but by the end of that Maestros Trios match, they were getting "This is awesome" chants, and it was awesome. It was really good. So whoever put that match together, whoever said, let's have these 6 guys in here, fantastic. Great job. Glowing review from me. It was really, really awesome. Go out of your way to watch this. You can find it on the ROH, Watch ROH, their subscription service. It's up on there. Not free on YouTube this time. It is up on the ROH subscription service. Definitely worth, if you have $10, put in a month. If you just want to watch that match, why not? It's good. It's a really good match. If you just want to watch that event, the event is good. It's definitely worth the $10 if you have it. So, the other big match that I was really wanting to see was Demus and Mad Dog Connolly. And I already talked about how Demus worked the WWE show very soon after that. Apuestas. That match was really good. There was a lot of very brutal moments. Maybe not as brutal as their first encounter in the dog collar. I don't think there was no blood this time. I don't think there was any blood in the entire show actually this time. But now that I think about it, I'm struggling to remember if there was. But it was very enjoyable. I thought the finish was good. I thought there was one moment. Well, first off, some of the bumps they were taking, some of the moves they were taking, I said, golly, there was a pile driver that Mad Dog did on Demus. I said, God almighty, he hit so hard. I thought he got spiked, but it was just really good work, I guess. If he got up like it was nothing, so he was protected, I'm assuming. Not even assuming. He was protected if he got up, because if he wasn't protected, that would have fried Demus. It looked, brutal. And then Demus did something to Mad Dog too. Like he hit something crazy on him that I just said, golly. Mad Dog crashed through this table, or not through this table, through this chair as well. Like, oh, Demus hit it like it was like a muscle buster. I said, oh my God, because it was like Mad Dog landed like very, like, I don't want to say scarily, but like it looked brutal. It was a good match though. I think it was a good match. Definitely solid. The Lee Moriarty match, good. I didn't know LFI was going to be on this card. I didn't even see them advertised for this show, but they had a quick match in there and it was really good. I thought it was really solid. It was just like a really quick, like almost like a showcase, it felt like. There is a Nicole Matthews against Billy Starks. I thought that was good as well. I hope I'm not forgetting anything that was on the card, but if I am, I just want to say it was good. I don't think there was everything that was televised, everything that was shown on Watch ROH was good. So big thumbs up on Dean 3. Very happy with that. Very cool. In terms of AEW, I don't really have that much to say. I have actually not been keeping up with the past few weeks. I actually have to get an HBO Max subscription because my login stopped working that I was using from a family member. But it looks like I think they're cracking down on stuff like that. So I'm going to have to get my own, which, I think I'll do because there's a few matches that I've been meaning to get to and watch. And they've got that Máscara Dorada and Beast Mortos match going on tonight that I will want to watch probably tomorrow. either tomorrow or later this week. So I'll probably drop the 15 and do a month of HBO Max at least. Maybe more than one. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, things are looking really good. Again, shirts are up. Shirts are up. If you want to buy a shirt, you can find them on the Club Lucha shop, which will be linked down below in the description. I think this is going to be the end of this episode. An hour and 10 minutes. My voice is getting very tired. I really do appreciate all of you who are watching. Let me know what you thought about this video format. Maybe I'll bring it back. Maybe I'll go back to audio only. Maybe this was just a really good plug for these shirts, which you should get one. But again, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Even if you don't get a shirt, that's more of a joke. I'm kind of like joking. Get a shirt. But thank you again so much. If you support Club Lucha in any way, for the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. I just like talking about this stuff. I like making things with Lucha Libre, and I like putting little videos together. I like talking about matches from the past, rivalries, moments, events, things like that. Like, it's just it's very fun. It's very fun to do, and it's very fun to talk about it, and online and with all of you. So if you ever engage in any way, watch, you like this, you share it, you repost it, I appreciate it very much. You really do not know how much I appreciate it. It's very, very, very much. So thank you all again. I believe we've hit everything for this episode. And until next time, I will see you later. See ya.